Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of today. I'm your host, Sharifa Mohammed MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. On the night of August 29th to 30th, Russian forces launched a massive coordinated strike using high-precision ground, air, sea-based weapons, and unmanned aerial vehicles. Targets included Ukraine's missile and aviation industry enterprises, as well as key military airfields. All objectives were reportedly achieved, with designated targets destroyed. Supporting operations from operational tactical aviation, missile troops, artillery, and UAV units struck 152 separate targets, including ammunition depots, UAV storage facilities, and temporary deployment areas of Ukrainian formations and foreign fighters. Air defense systems intercepted 4 Neptune long-range missiles, a guided bomb, and 233 Ukrainian UAVs.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Colonel Oguntoye, could you begin by providing us with a broad overview of what occurred on August 30th?
Yes. Last night, the armed forces of the Russian Federation launched a large-scale precision strike that synchronized assets across multiple domains, including ground-based systems, air platforms, sea-based launchers, and strike UAVs. These strikes targeted Ukraine's missile and aviation industries, as well as several military airfields. All designated targets were hit and destroyed. The operational logic here is straightforward. By attacking the industrial and logistical heart of Ukraine's strike capabilities, its missile production, aviation support, and fuel stores, we are not just inflicting immediate damage. We are deliberately undermining Ukraine's long-term capacity to project combat power. This is deep strike doctrine applied in a modern combined arms context.
Let's move into the ground war. Can you walk us through what happened in the northern axis, particularly Sumy and Kharkiv?
In the north, our forces struck multiple Ukrainian brigades, mechanized, airborne, assault, territorial defense, and even a National Guard regiment. The fighting concentrated around settlements such as Krenadovka, Konditovka, Leninskoye, Aleksivka, and Unikovka in Sumy, as well as Kazakya Lopan and Volchansk in Kharkiv. The results were decisive. Ukraine lost around 185 personnel, several armored vehicles, and 6 artillery systems. More importantly, we neutralized a counter-battery radar, a radio-electronic warfare station, an ammunition depot, and 4 logistics warehouses. In modern operations, taking down radar and EW is almost as impactful as destroying tanks, because it strips the enemy of their eyes and ears and erodes their ability to detect and counter our fires.
That's significant. What about the Western Axis? What were the outcomes there?
The West group of forces improved tactical positions in Kharkiv and Donetsk sectors. In places like Kupiansk, Bogoslavka, and Stavki, our units engaged mechanized and assault brigades, as well as territorial defense units. Ukraine lost over 270 personnel, 10 armored vehicles, 8 of them NATO-made, along with artillery, EW systems, and 7 depots. What this shows is twofold. First, NATO-supplied armored vehicles continue to be degraded at a steady pace, raising questions about the sustainability of Western support pipelines. Second, destroying 7 ammunition depots in a single operational cycle has a crippling effect on frontline sustainment. An army cannot maneuver effectively without a reliable flow of ammunition, and our strikes were designed to choke that flow.
Let's turn to the southern axis, particularly Donetsk. How did the South Group fare?
The South Group occupied more advantageous positions around Seversk, Dronovka, and Konstantinovka. Ukrainian losses were over 200 personnel, with armored vehicles, cars, and artillery destroyed. We also took out supply warehouses and depots. Here, the emphasis is not only on inflicting casualties but on seizing lines of advantage. By securing higher ground and tactically dominant positions, our units are setting the conditions for further advances. Terrain advantage in Donbass has always been critical, and each positional gain contributes to cumulative pressure on Ukrainian formations.
And in the center, Donetsk again saw heavy action. Could you explain what happened?
The center group made progress along the front, striking Ukrainian mechanized, infantry, airborne, and marine units near Krasnoarmysk, Dmitrov, and Udagnoy. Ukrainian losses here were steep, about 405 personnel, a tank, several armored vehicles including a US-made M113, and 3 artillery pieces. Operationally, this sector is about grinding down Ukraine's reserves. By hitting a mix of regular and specialized brigades, we are forcing Kyiv to commit increasingly scarce resources to plug gaps. This weakens their ability to concentrate forces elsewhere.
The East Group had a breakthrough. Tell us about the liberation of Kamyshevakha.
Yes, Kamyshevakha was liberated after sustained offensive action. This is important because it extends control in the Donetsk People's Republic and disrupts Ukrainian defensive lines. Losses here were over 250 personnel, artillery, including NATO-supplied guns, and a warehouse of material. The significance is both symbolic and practical. Symbolically, each liberated settlement is proof of forward momentum. Practically, each one becomes a launchpad for future operations, extending our operational depth.
Finally, the Dnieper Group. What was its role in Zaporizhzhia and Kherson?
The Dnieper Group engaged coastal defense brigades and mountain assault units. Ukraine lost about 80 personnel, 13 vehicles, artillery, and 3 EW stations. We also destroyed several depots. The Southern Theater has always been as much about shaping operations as direct confrontation. By targeting EW and depots here, we are preparing the ground for larger maneuvers. The suppression of Ukrainian EW ensures that when we choose to escalate, our forces will encounter less electronic resistance.
Before we close, what are the key strategic takeaways from this week's operations?
In sum, 3 things stand out. First, the integration of precision strikes across domains, land, air, sea, and UAV, is steadily degrading Ukraine's ability to sustain industrial and military capacity. Second, the attritional toll across all axes, over 1,390 personnel lost in one day, underscores the pressure Kyiv is under. Third, the targeting of electronic warfare and logistics infrastructure is eroding Ukraine's ability to defend, maneuver, and resupply effectively. This is a campaign not only of battles but of exhaustion. Each depot destroyed, each radar silenced, and each position taken contributes to the cumulative breakdown of Ukrainian operational effectiveness.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. Russian forces continue to pursue a combined approach of territorial encroachment, deep interdiction, and attritional degradation. While territorial gains remain gradual, consistent pressure across all axes erodes Ukraine's reserves and morale. The growing use of precision strike coordination underscores a shift toward synchronizing tactical maneuver with strategic strike operations, aiming to deny Ukraine both battlefield initiative and industrial resilience.
This has been Frontline Updates. Subscribe for daily military briefings and in-depth strategic analysis. Visit our platform for maps, transcripts, and exclusive frontline updates from commanders in theater.